Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elevate Your Business. I'm Ed Jurecki, and I'm thrilled to guide you through today's episode. It's designed to inspire and empower you on your journey to business success. Today, we have the pleasure of having Neha Nautiyal with us. Neha's journey into macronutrition coaching began after the birth of her second daughter when she faced significant body image struggles. Determined to make a change, she embraced macro coaching, which not only transformed her body, but also empowered her mindset. Inspired by the life-altering impact of balancing her macros, Neha decided to become a coach herself, with a mission to help others achieve their health goals and to elevate their lives. Before stepping into nutrition coaching, Neha spent nearly a decade as a high school chemistry teacher, a background that enriches her scientific approach to nutrition. So help me welcome Neha Nadia to the show. Neha, it's wonderful to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I am doing very well as also. If you would, to start with, would you share a little bit more about yourself and your business?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm actually coming to about a 1 year anniversary since I became a certified macro coach, and it has been quite the journey. And it is unbelievable. Sometimes when you take one step, you have no idea where it's going to take you. And I could not imagine being where I am now, 2.5 years ago when I decided to hire a stranger off of Instagram to help me with. It's been quite the ride, and I'm so excited to share with you and your audience.
Thank you so much. And so, first question, success. How do you define it today?
So I'll give you a little bit of history. I studied chemistry in college. I thought I was going to be a professor. I ended up being a high school chemistry teacher, not what I was expecting. And throughout this entire time in my life, up until 2.5 years ago, even when I was working with a coach to help me with my health goals, even with my family growing up in school, elementary school, throughout my entire life, I always thought success had to do with the product, the outcome. What am I getting in return? And it wasn't until I started this business, even in the beginning, what do you want? What do you think when you think of starting your own business? To work for yourself, to make lots of money, to have all the time in the world to do what you want to do. But it's not until you actually start. And even when I started the business, that's when I realized, looking back in my life, that it's not just about the outcome. It's not just about the destination. It's also about the journey. And now it has become the success has become so much more process oriented. Celebrating the small steps, celebrating the milestones, celebrating what you can control, not making a lot of money. Yes, it's a fantastic goal to have, but what can I do? What am I in control of that will get me there? And celebrating that one step at a time. So I'm really active on Instagram. Did I do my post for today? Did I write my email for the week? That's something that I can control. I can't control when other people respond or other people like or other people comment. That's not in my control. So I'm not going to use that as a measure of my success. Am I doing what I can do in order to get to that step? And then also, it is very important to have those big goals. Yes, I want a 7-figure business, and I believe that I will get there eventually. But I can't just start with that goal. I have that goal, but how am I going to break it down into small, doable steps that I can do today to get me there? I don't remember the exact saying, but there's a saying of, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So what's that one step that you can control, that you can do today? And that's really how you can measure your own success and what's in front of you.
Yeah.
It's just part of the process. Now I feel like I am not undoing any progress. Part of failing is progress in itself. And realizing that, okay, maybe I have to keep posting because I'm not reaching my target audience. When I get my audience, then that'll be a different milestone that I've hit. But just because I don't have 50 likes, 100 likes, whatever metric you want to use, it doesn't matter. That's okay. That's part of the process. And realizing that it's not about that end goal that you can't control. And so I don't see failures anymore. I just see every step as lessons to be learned, which takes so much pressure off, takes the guilt off of we're just doing the best that we can do with what we have.
I love it. Wonderful message. But of course, that journey from where we were to how we see and manage our world today isn't an easy journey. There's usually challenges along the way. What are one or two of those key challenges and the lessons learned to pass along to our audience?
My personality is very high strung. I'm very detail oriented. I can really drown in the details. And I know the devil's in the details, but sometimes I get blinded by the itty bitty logistics that don't actually matter. And so for me, as a perfectionist, I feel like I'm a recovering perfectionist. I have to stop overthinking what I'm doing and just start doing. Because sometimes I can do all the planning of, let's say, for example, I have an offer. If I plan out up to even all the worksheets or how I'm going to deliver it to a client, what if it doesn't even sell? What's the point of going through all of that work and making my offer absolutely perfect when nobody even wants it? What have I done with all my time? I've just wasted it. So the number one challenge for me is getting over trying to be perfect and just delivering, just getting out there and learning while doing. Just post the post, just write the email, just talk to the client, just ask the question. That's okay. Just start. If I had tried to make my posts perfect, I would never post. It's just, but getting over that was very difficult. It was so hard, but I had to be told over and over again, and just realizing nobody's going to look at, it's not about one email. It's not about one post. It's not about showing up live one time. It's the collective. Sometimes it is about the quality and not the quantity, but in this case, it's literally just quantity will help you get the quality that you want.
Yeah, because you're improving along the way.
Exactly. One step at a time, that incremental change.
Great message.
That was and you know what? I'm still overcoming that challenge. It's like a spectrum. It's not a switch where you can just turn it on and off. I'm still on the spectrum and there's still room to improve, but I can at least look back and see how far I've come already and just keep going.
What a great message. Absolutely agree with you. Being engaged, staying engaged, taking each one of those steps of meaningful purpose, but learning from the past and making those small incremental improvements, exactly what we were talking about earlier. So from an innovation perspective, how are you leveraging innovation to help drive your success in your life and your business?
My business is all online. And it's funny. So when I was growing up, my parents were divorced. I grew up with my dad, and he is a mechanical engineer. And I was always in technology. Even, I remember the big old Apple, huge Mac computer, actual computer. And I've always been good with computers. I've always been good with technology, phones, apps. And so now I cannot believe, as I've started my business, as I am 1 year in, how many systems there are to help you systemize, to auto payment processing, for email list, just social media itself. What is social media today? I bet you thousands of people would not have a business if it weren't for technology, if it weren't for social media and being able to communicate. And so what has really helped me is attending conferences, just seeing how other coaches do it. Oh, they use ConvertKit. Oh, this coach uses ActiveCampaign. Oh, there's Flowdesk. There's just so much out there. It's good to try. Also, it's hard at first because when you're not making any money or you're new in your business, you're like, I don't want to make an investment. What's the free option? There are actually a lot of free options, but at the same time, you have to think like you're already where you want to be. And so you have to make some investment. So there's a lot of technology, but the key thing is just to keep trying and figure out what works for you. So I love, because I mentioned before with the details, I love to subscribe to other coaches and just to see, oh, how are they doing it? What are they using? How are their emails set up? What are their posts like? I just want to see from somebody who's more experienced and more knowledgeable than me, what are they doing? Can I use the best of what they're doing into my business? I used to be that person where I needed a sign or I had to read all the reviews. But now we just talked about getting over that challenge of just taking the step and not overthinking it. I'm like, you know what? This is easy. This is something that, looks doable. Why research more when they all pretty much do the same thing? Unless it doesn't work for you, most systems will work for you.
And what I'm also
Is my
hearing in there
philosophy.
is try it. And if you've got the free trial, try it through the free trial. If it doesn't work, stop it before it does cost the business any money. Is that a fair thought?
Yes, totally. I agree. And I'll give you an example. I've used ManyChat, and ManyChat is a way to automate your direct messages on Instagram. And I had the free version, but I wanted more. I liked what I got, but I wanted more. And so I subscribed to it now and I pay for it monthly. Sometimes in the beginning, until you really go deep, I love to just try things out and just to see if I comment on somebody else's post, how does their ManyChat work? Or how did they do it? And so I just discovered that you can get email addresses, not just send messages, but get email addresses. You can ask quizzes. There's so much you can do, but you don't realize the possibility unless you try, unless you go for it.
Makes a lot of sense. Final takeaway for our audience. If there was one thing that you could pass along to our audience to say, you really should consider this as part of your life and business success, what would that be?
It is one thing, but there's two things that are connected
You're
to each other.
fine. Please do.
So I'm actually reading a book right now, and it's called The One Thing. I don't remember who the author is. I can look it up, but it's called The One Thing. And I just started listening to it a couple days ago. It has been amazing in my mindset, in helping me realize, yes, you can have your big goal, but what is the one thing that you can do today? I'm not saying it the same way as the author is in the book, but it has been really eye-opening with my approach to what I am focused on for today. And it can be applied to your personal life, it can be applied to your professional life, your spiritual life, your relationships. So I love the applicability. And it's a very short book. I'm almost done with it already. And the second thing, which relates to that, is you're never going to have all the answers. And no matter how much research you do, no matter whatever you do to try to get all the answers, it's not going to happen. So you just have to start. Whatever it is you want to do, you just have to take that first step. And then you have to trust yourself and your situation that you will get the answers along the way.
I think that is an awesome message. It goes back to small incremental improvements every day. And as part of that, you're learning lessons, you're course correcting. And so over time, you get better, you become much more capable of delivering what your specific audience is looking for. And ultimately, that leads to the combination of life, business, and financial success.
And I have to add relatability.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work with somebody who thinks they know it all or who looks like they have it all together because they're like, oh, I'm never going to get there. So recognizing that you're closer to your clients than they think you are actually really helps with connection building and also the relatability piece.
Yes, matter of fact, I've had several conversations, which is one of the reasons that I chuckle on just a number of sheer conversations around the power of failure. And I know I, for one, have been around that failure block so many times I lost count. But to our earlier part of the conversation, it's also about learning from those experiences, improving ourselves, and then passing on what we can to others, which is one of the reasons that I do what I do this way with the podcast and in other forums, help other people maybe mitigate or eliminate some of the challenges that you and I have gone through. And
I
so,
love learning from others.
yeah.
I really do. And sometimes we can't see it in ourselves, and we might have to hear the message over and over again. But I do think that every time you hear it, it sinks in a little bit more.
Great thought, great message. Absolutely agree with you. Any final thoughts?
sometimes you don't realize what is possible. And even when you have your goals, sometimes your goals seem so far away and you can't get there. But I really think that we put ourselves in a box and nobody else is restricting us. We're the ones that are restricting ourselves, and that once we realize that the box is open and you realize, oh my God, there is no limit to what I can do. It's just an amazing feeling. It's very exciting.
Great message. Thank you so much for that. I want to thank you for joining us today, with a special thanks to Neha Nautiyal for sharing her insights and success tactics. We hope you feel inspired and motivated to tackle entrepreneurial challenges with innovation and adaptability. Remember, success is personal. Define it for yourself. But always remember, embrace change, seek growth, and adapt to the ever-evolving business landscape. Thanks again to Neha and to all of our listeners, and we'll see you next time as we continue exploring more stories from incredible entrepreneurs. Stay resilient, stay innovative, and have a wonderful day, everyone.